Fellow collectors, have any of you noticed that Star Wars Topps is absolutely killing it right now? From the selection of cards to high prices, these are your top recent eBay sales of Star Wars Topps. So right here, we want to start off with this Kurosawa inspired card. I just wanted to highlight this card. This is not a super duper variant of this card. It is not a serialized variant. It's just a refractor. So the refractor alone went for somewhere under $250 as a best offer accepted in PSA 10 form. And now there are serialized refractor versions, parallel variants of this card. And this is one I've been watching for a while, and I really think it's one that's going to stand out over time. You know, I find character illustrations a little bit risky because some of them are going to stand out better than others, and there will be a lot more character illustrations to come as long as Topps is making Star Wars cards. But I really love this variant. I think this is a true classic that will stand out over time. I actually taught Akira Kurosawa films, and when I was teaching film class, Star Wars is based in some part on Hidden Fortress by Kurosawa. You know, George Lucas has talked about this, and it just makes sense. I mean, this card just looks, pays homage to the Kurosawa samurai film really beautifully, and it's a wonderful illustration, and it's just one that I think is going to really do well over time and continue to stand out, even though it is from 2021. I wanted to highlight some under-the-radar cards. In my opinion, I believe they're kind of under the radar. We have the Topps 206 series. I really like this series because the cards are smaller, they're a little more vintage looking, and that helps them stand out from the many like chrome, very high gloss finished cards that we typically see with Star Wars, especially more recently. And so this is definitely a series that stands out. And the vehicle one in particular, I would watch out for because these are actually rare inserts. You can actually look up, there are some articles online. You can go and see the pull rates and the how rare each variation of these cards in Topps 206 is. But the vehicle ones are up there on the rarity scale. And I think that they could be underfollowed because they look like a base set card. The base cards here have that white border. And but the vehicle ones are not from the base set. They have different characters as a part of the base set, and then any vehicle is a rare insert. You can't get a yellow Starfield, an orange Starfield, any variant of these vehicle inserts. They are themselves, just the way they are, a rare insert. So I like these vehicle cards. If you like things like TIE Fighters, Star Destroyers, all the different starships from Star Wars like I do, this is definitely something to check out. This is another variant from the Topps 206 to be keeping your eye on, because when I first opened my Topps 206, I wasn't even aware of the Star Wars logo back. Yes, this is also a rare variant. I believe it is just above the blue variant, which is the first rarity up from the base set, and then before the orange Starfield. But when I first pulled a card with the Star Wars logo back, I thought it was an error card. It was just one of the Ewok characters. But actually it is a bit more rare, and they do look at the base set cards as well, just with a different back. So look out for these. This one sold just for $3.88, but you can get a really big character. Captain Phasma's okay, but you can get a Luke, a Leia, or something like that with the Star Wars logo back and get under $5 or something. I think that would be a decent pickup, and you can get it graded. I really believe a lot in these Star Wars 206 cards, simply because I think they stand out so well from the many different chrome sets that we get. Okay, so here we just have a really good example of, I think, a character illustration that will stand out. So, a lot of character illustrations, a lot of original artwork, Star Wars artwork in different Star Wars sets. I believe they're a little riskier than actual characters, the live action actors and actresses posing as the character, the live action film stills from the movies. But here, if you can find the right illustration with strong characters, with the right kind of scene and interaction. I mean, here, just a classic scene, the I Love You scene between Han Solo and Leia. This went for some kind of best offer under $65. And it is a serialized card, Prism Refractor under 75. I think that is a very good serialized number to get. So I think this was a pretty good pickup. All right, so I had to highlight Ahsoka Tan. We have the new season, a series that just came out, and I think this is a character that will continue to stand out, probably going to see Disney use more of, and is, we got an abundance of Star Wars characters. Some of them fall through the cracks. I think Ahsoka Tan will continue to have relevancy, and we have some kind of best offer here for an out of 99 from Star Wars Flagship. under $69.99. Okay, a standout character, I think, one to really watch out for, and where we're starting to see, I think, some higher prices based on character. And we have a Padme Amidala card, a really great rendition seen here. You can also get this in the Throwback Thursday as an image variant, which is one to look out for. And this is a serialized out of 25, some kind of best offer under $280. Hopefully it will grade well. You always take a little bit of a risk with raw cards because some of these Topps cards can come out damaged right out of the pack, especially if they're like a chrome high gloss finish. But if this one will grade well, PSA 9, PSA 10, I think this was a very good pickup. This is one that I've been having my eyes on. There are a few of these up there on eBay, but definitely being held at a high price. And I just think this is a wonderful rendition because it has Padme and Darth Vader on the card itself, and it's the live action characters. Sometimes I can't tell if it's an original, if it's an illustration or live action, because sometimes they will like do something very close to the live action, but it's actually like sketched over or traced over, is very similar. But I believe this is actually just an image from the film here, and then Darth Vader is just kind of put down on top at the bottom there, and it's just a really lovely rendition, and one I would love to have in a serialized form, in PSA graded form for sure. All right, another interesting card category in Topps is the shaped card. So they do a lot of these. You can get like sketch cards that are shaped like in the face of the character, or in this case, we have this interesting Kyber crystal variant of a lot of different popular characters. Here we had one raw going for $166.39 in auction, and this is one that PSA will grade, and I think it looks pretty interesting graded as well. I'm not a huge fan of shaped cards, but I do like the Kyber crystal variant just because it is a shaped card that they use for multiple characters instead of having like a card that's shaped just like the character on the card. I think that's kind of too unique. I don't know, kind of a little bit different. But the Kyber crystal, I could see it being like a kind of a niche category, something to kind of take a look at. All right, another really great original artwork, in my opinion, in this Luke Skywalker card. This comes from the most recent Topps set, Chrome Galaxy 2023. This is a beautiful Luke Skywalker rendition. This is one that I see standing out over time. There's gonna be a lot of Luke Skywalker cards, and it is out of 25. Great serialized category to go after. This one went for $136.40 in auction. Now you gotta be careful with these because these chrome top sets, these high gloss finishes, I've pulled them myself right out of a pack, and they'll have a little bit of damage on the card, some surface wear, scratches, print lines, that kind of thing. And I'll buy them on eBay, and they'll have a little bit of damage to them. Not bad. But there's definitely a little bit of risk if you're going for them raw, because sometimes you're just not going to see the scratches and print lines on the card. All right, you've got a bonus here today because this is one that I picked, that I purchased, and this is the Padme Amidala. This comes from an old set, 2010 Star Wars Galaxy, and I just like this. This is a like classic kind of pose or rendition of Padme, but instead of the picture, it's actually like rendered in a different artistic style, and I just thought it was a cool card. It's only serialized out of 770, so a lot of these cards out there, but you don't see a lot out there on eBay, and it is because it's so old. Maybe this is one that people just aren't wanting to sell, one that collectors like to hold on to. It is a great rendition. I like that it's a little bit older of a card, but I really like it. So I got this one. I forget what I paid for, probably something like $125 as a best offer. Really looking forward to this card. Okay, another interesting card category to think about are these sketch cards. Now, I'm not a huge fan of sketch cards. I like original character art, original illustrations more. The sketch cards, like the one-of-ones, I think they're okay too, but there are so many sketch cards. You want to make sure you get the right character, and sort of it has to have the right eye appeal, and art is very subjective, so it's going to be a little bit trickier there because just other people might not agree with what you like. People might just have different tastes. Nonetheless, I think, strong character appeal here with Ahsoka Tan. Very nice. I think it's kind of a safe artistic style. It's not anything crazy going on in this image, but it's just kind of a standard portrait, but it is nicely done, and this one went for $312.77 in auction. Right here, we've got another big character, and this is interesting because it's one of those character illustrations that I think will stand out. This went for an auction for $415 raw, the serialized 2 out of 5, and this is a Boba Fett from Star Wars Visions. This is one that I think is strong because it's one of those character illustrations, now. Yes, there will be a lot more Boba Fett cards. There will be more character illustrations, original artwork Boba Fett cards. But how many more times are they going to do Star Wars Visions Boba Fett? How many more times are we going to get these Japanese samurai variants of different Star Wars characters? The same reason I like the Manga Madness cards from Star Wars Topps Chrome, because the manga renditions of those characters, you just don't see other cards with those kinds of renditions. And so that will help them stand out over time. Another standout character to keep your eyes on, we talked about Mara Jade potentially coming back at some point. I think that would be a huge character to get back in Disney Star Wars, and to have Topps variants of Mara Jade come out. Can you imagine that? How awesome that would be? Here we have Thrawn, and one that I think also has further potential. You know, we're just seeing so far these like CGI cartoon kind of variants of Thrawn. This one went as an out of 25, Gem Mint 10 for $155. I think that's a great pickup for the character. If we can see a live action Thrawn come into the series and kind of generate more interest in the character again, I think that is going to be the one to go after, and one to really keep an eye on going forward. So I don't think Rey ended up being the greatest character in the Star Wars canon. I just felt like, you know, she had no really weaknesses to overcome. She didn't really go on a journey, it felt like, in the Disney Star Wars films. They played it very safe, I think, with this character. And nonetheless, you know, Rey is the, you know, main protagonist from the new Star Wars film. So you got to have, you know, some kind of representation by Rey in the market. And here we have a 2018 autographed out of 25 that went for $910 in auction. Now this one looks like it comes in the top loader that you would get in the box when you bought it from Topps, so it probably was never opened. You know, the sticker was never taken off. Therefore, it probably has a high chance of grading well. Not guaranteed, because these high gloss cards, sometimes they just do come out damaged. But, you know, it's one to look out for if you're going to get a raw card. If you can get one of these autograph cards that come in the Topps top loader that hasn't been removed, you know, I think that's a strong bet if you're going to be buying it raw. All right, now before we get to our biggest sales recently on eBay, we have to talk about Manga Madness. I love these variants of cards. I've been picking up the Leia ones. I've gotten a few other ones as well, including this Hoth one, which is just an absolutely stunning rendition in my opinion. You know, it's got Luke, Han Solo, Leia, it's Battle of Hoth, it's Empire Strikes Back, probably the best of the original 3 films. And this is just a stunning card, I think. Gem Mint 10 out of 50, $140. I would have bought this if I saw it at 140. I think I was watching this one. It was like 200. I was just, you know, I wasn't really ready to get it at 200. Then they were lowering it. If it's the same card, and then it sold for 140, I think that's a great one for this card. These Manga Madness cards, I do think, will just be easy to stand out. They won't get lost in the shuffle as more Star Wars variants come out. Guys, before we get to the last 3 sales, the biggest sales of Star Wars Topps on eBay recently, if you want to support the channel, the easy way to do that, I have my eBay affiliate link down in the description below this video. If you're buying anything on eBay, if you're buying Star Wars cards on eBay, use that link when you make your purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a small kickback from your purchase if you use my link. All right, so we got a big sale here. You cannot go wrong with strong Leia cards. We got a sketch card, strong sketch card of Leia. I think this is just a beautiful rendition. It's got Star Wars logo right there on it at the in the bottom center there. And it just looks beautiful. This is a wonderful work of art here, going for $750 raw. I think, you know, I'm not a big fan of sketch cards, but if you can find the right one, it will be a very strong card in my opinion. And I think this was a great pickup. Okay, we got a high raw sale of this signed out of 25 Star Wars High Tech card. I believe this is an older card. I don't see the date or the year on this one, but it's definitely not one that is super recent, I don't believe, but is a high tech. I guess that is a, you know, a pretty high variant out of 25. Autographed, of course. Carrie Fisher autographs are up there right now if you can get one of those. And the big risk for this one, I think, is, you know, it's a raw card, so how is it going to grade? But at the end of the day, the positive thing about going after raw cards in Star Wars that otherwise have good traits, strong character, autographed, it has a strong design. Even if it's not going to grade well, you see something wrong on the card, just authenticate it. You can send to PSA, just get authentication. It'll probably present really well. At the end of the day, you know, it's a really great serialized card. You can even get it's a great thing to do with one-of-one cards. If they're not in the great condition, they're still one-of-ones, just authenticate them. So I think that would be a great choice as well. And finally, the biggest sale that we have recently on eBay for Star Wars Topps is this beautiful original character illustration of Darth Vader. Now this went in auction for US dollars, $3,797.60. And it's the 1 out of 5. It's the front bookend. And, those bookend cards, I think, should have a little bit of a more premium than the in-between cards. The 1 out of 5, the 5 out of 5. I think this just has such strong eye appeal. You got Darth Vader there. You got his TIE fighter following after what I assume to be Luke's X-Wing here in the back. I mean, this is just a amazing card. I hope it will grade well. You see, it's amazing to see just these raw cards for going for these prices. Now there is a 1 out of 1 version of this card. It has been pulled, the Superfractor. It is up on eBay right now. It is listed for just under $20,000 or best offer. And I want to hear in the comments below what you think that card is worth. What do you think is the correct price for that 1 of 1 after seeing this sale? That does it for your most recent top Star Wars Topps eBay sales. Hey, if you like this kind of video, let me know. Hit the like button, comment your favorite card of these sales down in the comments below. What are you going after? Because I'd love to do more content like this. If you really enjoyed it, you want to see more market updates, you want to see market updates based around certain characters or top cards from different sets, cards on the rise, cards that are kind of cheap for what they are, let me know, because I'd love to do a lot of different more variants of this kind of format if that's what you all want to see. But you got to like the video, you got to comment, you got to let me know, and make sure you subscribe for more great Star Wars Topps content on my channel. Thank you so much, and I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you.